I'd like to think that the Area 51 raid that happened yesterday was in tribute to Naruto. That was the main thing, is how are they going to charge the gates of Area 51?
It's got to be. This was blatantly just done by a Naruto fan, let's be real. I think it's kind of crazy. I saw an article about the kind of festival and the people that actually did turn up. Apparently, because there was a festival dedicated to it nearby in one of the towns. I think it was called Rachel or something like that. I can't remember what the nearest town is.
Roswell,
maybe. That's New Mexico, isn't it?
Perhaps, I
don't know. But the kind of nearest town to where Area 51 is, that they actually did hold a festival there, and apparently over 1,000 people did turn up to that. They had bands play, but then they had up to about 200 people actually did turn up to the gates, and apparently the police were quite stern with them and said, we will use force.
You ain't gonna be clapping no cheeks today.
But I did see there's that footage going around of the reporter outside of near Area 51, and that guy in the background just running past. It's so beautiful, and I think this whole thing was worth it for that one clip.
Like, everything that happened from the creation of this event, which was, again, one thing that I also want to talk about, but the creation of this event all the way to that meme of the guy just running, and every single iteration that has happened in the past 24 hours is ridiculous. But that is one thing that I want to talk about, is how seriously the United States government actually took the Area 51 storming the gate threat. Now, I don't know if you know this over there in the UK, but the person who created the Facebook event, the man who said it was a joke, was actually approached by the FBI and said, if anything happens because of this, it is 100% your fault. Like, a man who created a meme, who created a joke, was threatened with jail time if other people had pulled through. Like, that makes me think that there was, like, two people out there who went, you know what, I'm going to go to jail, but I'm going to take this guy with me.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, obviously, I think everybody, even, like, government must have seen the kind of hilarity in it, but, I mean, considering it's such, like, a top-secret base, like, it's kind of crazy that they kind of have to take it that seriously, because, like, God knows what they've got in there and all stuff like that. But the fact that it kind of resonated with so many people, I think it was over 1 million people. It might have even been 2 million people that kind of said that they were attending. I think I might be one of them. Because I think it just became like a kind of viral thing, didn't it? People would just like click it just because you wanted to kind of see this thing kind of unravel. And, I actually think that there were like companies taking bets as well. It's like how many people would actually turn up, whether it be over 10,000, over 100,000. I don't think anybody thought that you would get more than like 1,000 or 2,000, but apparently over 1,000 people did turn up to this little festival that they had.
I mean, this is going to be the next Burning Man, 100% hands down.
It is in the middle of in a desert, to be fair. You turn up and you become one with the Earth and the aliens, apparently. But it's just kind of crazy to think that this used to be a thing that was kept secret. They didn't acknowledge Area 51, and now they're like, all the people that do turn up, we will have to use force. It's become this kind of thing now that, like, it's acknowledged now. It's kind of crazy how kind of the climate has gone from, like, we don't know what you're talking about, it's classified, there's no such thing as Area 51, to now there's an alien festival and people Naruto running outside the gates, like.
Which means that there's 100% no chance that anything super, super important is at Area 51.
I think if there ever was, there wouldn't be now.
Oh, there might have been. In fact, it was. So do you know anything about the history of Area 51?
I know that there's. I watched the Bob Lazar documentary recently about it, actually, which I found incredibly interesting, if that is real. But yeah, I know a little bit about it, yeah.
I mean, the main idea behind it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it was a secret military base that was used as a way to test experimental aircraft during the Cold War with the Russians. And I mean, they were in charge of testing a lot of things, because there weren't very many people out there, and the repercussions of anything going wrong were very, very minuscule compared to almost anywhere else in the United States. So they created this entire base, this entire system around there, and the only reason why it exploded in popularity was the possibility of the Roswell crash. And that brought attention to the area, and people started to look, hey, is that a secret military base 15 miles in the middle of the desert? So you cannot, you can't walk there. You have to drive to their base to get there properly. And so I think the second that crash happened, that Area 51 became well known, is when all super important things stopped happening there. I think they moved everything somewhere deep.
You would think it would be underground. I mean, there's no way they're just like there'd be the real like Hangar 1 or Hangar 2 that there would be like, you know, like in Independence Day when Will Smith walks in and it's just like floating there. It's not going to be like that. I mean, the thing is like, I think, don't get me wrong, there's no doubt that there are, you know, kind of secret black budget kind of things going on in the world, because there would have to be. And there's no way that, you know, there isn't that kind of crazy technology going on there. They're probably like 10, 15, 20 years ahead. But to think that they're, you know, sitting around the tables, you know, having a smoke in a Starbucks with, you know, some grey being, you know, I find that hard to believe. I mean, for me, I just don't think you would travel all across interstellar space just to get shot down by a dude with a rifle or something, you know, and then, you know, it kind of reminds me of like that film Signs, where like they said about, you know, Mel Gibson goes, oh, they can travel across space, but they can't open a door handle. It kind of makes me think like that a little bit. But I mean, what do you think is there then?
Right now, I think it's stuff that's supposed to be secret, but not top secret. I think there's some things there that they're pushing the bounds of aerospace, but they're not pushing aerospace as far as they have before. You know, it could be just a new plane that goes an extra 5-10 miles per hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're traveling that fast, you know, that might be a thing. New radar technology could be there. Just
stealth stuff, I think, as well. Like,
but nothing that's going to be like space net, like the Space Force, where I can be a space marine.
So do you think that, like, while we're on the subject of aliens, do you think that the Earth has ever made contact, like any human has ever made contact with an alien before? Do you think the government has?
I think that if we have, we aren't going to know about it for a while, and I think there's only going to be 3 places where the information would be kept in so tightly guarded that we wouldn't be able to comprehend it. One, I think if we have been in contact with them, the information would either be in the Vatican, because those vaults are deep, they're dark, and they're locked. Those things are locked better than any secret in the United States. Like, hands down. 2, I think that it would be in some kind of ancient civilization, because the way that biology has progressed over the years is lifetimes have become longer and longer and longer. I mean, take a look at the, you know, whale shark. It lives for, you know, quite a long time. What is that actual whale that lives for like 300, 400 years? Icelandic whale?
Oh, yeah, there's a few beings that kind of live. Yeah, I saw something actually that you mentioned, that there was an animal that they said had lived over 200-300 years, that they kind of clocked it was an underwater being as well.
I think it was a whale. But I think as biology progresses, life lengths, you know, at least our relative conception of them, become longer and longer and longer. So let's say that we were visited by aliens 3,000, 4,000 years ago when the pyramids were built, 5,000 years ago. However long ago the pyramids were, I have a hard time remembering Cleopatra and the pyramids and all that. I think that if we were visited by them and they helped us build them, it wouldn't be inconceivable that only a few generations have passed for them compared to now.
Absolutely. Well, you got to remember, like, the crazy thing is time and space is infinite, so it means that there have been infinite civilizations that have come and gone, that will come, and that they are at all times either more advanced or less advanced than us. There are infinite civilizations, meaning there are infinite possibilities of ways that things have happened in what time. So I think the way that we look at time, like the blip that humans have been on this pebble, is literally like a millisecond in the grand scheme of the universe. So when you think about that, it's almost like, someone actually said to me, like, when you're driving down the motorway, or the highway as you guys call it, do you notice the ants on the side of the road? Of course you don't. You're going too fast. So maybe other civilizations may be like that. They don't really notice us, or we're so far spread apart that there's no way. Who knows? But I do think that, for me, I can't conceive a reality where there isn't other life out there that's probably smarter or less intelligent than us.
I 100% believe in aliens. That's not even a question. Because aliens, just the actual definition is a being from somewhere else. It doesn't have to be intelligent, it doesn't have to be anything. Anything that is not from Earth is an alien.
So, We hope you enjoyed the show, we sure did. But what's next? Well, firstly, we'll be bringing you these shows every 2 weeks as well as highlight clips of each episode. So, hit that subscribe button, it means that you won't miss out on any content from Brian and myself. Also, be sure to hit that like button as that really does help support the channel in the best possible way. If you want to find us on social media, you can. We are on Twitter at LGSerial, as well as both myself, Alonzi with an underscore, and at Lohili1. And lastly, be sure to check out our very own YouTube channels. If you want to see more manga and anime based content, you can find me at Alonzi as well as Lohili.